least this one's working. So now I'm going to I'm going to cancel the other one. The create, I'm going to go live. I'm going to go to this one. I'll go more actions, delete forever. So now I just replaced it.
Okay. And then you'll want to get the link from the one you just created to post.
Share analytics here. I just didn't know how to I didn't know if that live stream would just activate.
Right.
Like that, if it would just come on.
Mm-hmm. Yay. So I'm going to start rolling on this, I guess.
Roll on that first and I'll roll on the camera second.
Okay. Sounds good.
Up on here. I'll schedule one later and just check and see if it automatically starts. Like I'll schedule one for like an hour ahead. And then I'll
No, what that video looked like was that we had to click on it and start it like manually.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it how to do that.
That's okay. We're early.
My hair looks greasy, but it's just wet from the shower. How's my, can you pull that over a little bit so we can see it more? Check,
What,
check.
your levels? I can see it.
Check, check.
Whoa, Daniel James tagged me in a post.
Change. Hi, Caroline. How's it going? Thanks for being here. We're just waiting for a few more people to show up, and then we'll start chatting. So how's it going, Caroline? Where are you located? Where you live? How's life? Yeah, bye.
We've never done this.
You can see when people come and go. So she came in to say hi and then left.
That was nice.
Well, back again. Canada. Cool. We have lots of friends in Canada. I've been to Vancouver, BC. I used to live in Washington State, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Trying out the live stream. We've never done this before. It's our first time, so
we'll take
the table to it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just, hanging out, having fun. Yeah, I would. I'd go up from Washington State. I used to live in the state capital, Olympia, Washington, and just head up.
Do you want to start the?
Sure.
Just a little awkward. I mean, do you want to just start chatting?
To Caroline, she's our only friend. It is a beautiful state. I spent 17 years there, and we just visited last December as well. It's changed a lot. I hadn't been back in 11 years, so you can imagine how much 11 years will do to a city, to a state.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to run it like it's recording, and there's going to be an episode out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to do
like an intro
and do our updates and then get the chat.
Yeah.
So I say give it to like maybe 5 or 6 after, because the old link's bad.
Okay.
You know, that was the link everybody had, and now there's a new link.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I grew up on the West Coast. I was born in California, and I spent I think 7 or 8 years in California, and then I grew up in Washington. What's meta with us? Good question. Well, today's episode is just kind of going to be chatting and doing some general updates. We didn't specifically choose a topic for today, for episode 21. Just winging it, really.
Yeah. We're excited to try the live stream, so
yeah,
that's what we're
playing around.
Playing with.
So far, it's just the 3 of us, Caroline. So you have our full attention. We're gonna start the other camera here in a minute. That was a fast 2 minutes. Yeah, what you got? Do you believe that consciousness between humans can connect remotely? Awesome. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I really like that. That'll be a good topic starter for us, Caroline. So here's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and roll the camera.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do our intro, and then we'll get to chatting. Roll.
Cool. Sound is already speeding.
You want to lead us in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Zooming on your set.
Cool. Turn it over here. Take a little sip. Yeah. Good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Welcome back to That's So Meta, where we discuss the mystical, magical, metaphysical. I'm your host, Lauren Marie.
And I'm today's co-host, Daniel James.
And we're live today.
We're live today for the first time ever on YouTube.
We're super excited.
So it's episode number 21, and we're just giving the live stream a little try. We're winging it here. We're experimenting. So we don't have a specific topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to be chatting and hanging out and doing some updates. And thank you guys for being here.
We do have a couple of questions already.
We got some chat popping off.
In the chat.
Thoughts on the Mandela effect, Cern and so on. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, good questions. So we would love to chat with you guys and hang out. So go ahead and post your questions in the chat, and we will keep an eye on that. And what we're going to do now is we'll just kind of give you guys some updates and dive right in. So it is October 1st. Happy Halloween for those who celebrate. You could have very negative, judgmental things to say about the Halloween season, but I have grown up celebrating Halloween, and it's fun. And you can be 3D about it, and you can be 5D about it. But we are making a special announcement that with my film studio, Tragic Hero Productions, we have a short film releasing for Halloween this month. Okay, This film is called The Phantom Witch, and my team had shot this movie 6 years ago. 6 years ago, and then we never finished it. It's a fun sort of Halloween themed story about a couple who are figuring out what they want to do on Halloween night, and it's raining, and there's nothing to do and nowhere to go, so they tell each other urban legends and sort of like lore stories. And I won't spoil it, but the two people who are telling the stories are very important to the stories themselves. So we're finishing up that movie right now, and it's 6 years in the making, and it will be free to watch on Tragic Hero Productions YouTube channel, and I'll share it around my social media. So that's an exciting special announcement that we've got the movie coming out, free to watch. And what else, Lauren? What else? Lauren got her hair done today.
Excitement. Yeah, I got my hair done. It doesn't look too much different though.
It's darker. It's darker.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it looks nice.
It's the little things. It's the small victories. Getting your hair done.
Yeah, I hadn't been to a salon in 6 years, so I was like, oh. But
yeah, you were really nervous
really
to go, and then you went in. It went well.
Yeah, it was nice.
Trust in the journey.
Do you want to start with?
Sure. We'd love to chat with you guys. Oh yeah, Caroline. I have a million movies that are free to watch. We have so many YouTube channels. We have our company YouTube, which is The Moment Imaging. We have Tragic Hero Productions, which is our own short films. I have some short films and some web series and stuff on other people's channels, and then some stuff on mine as well. You should also check out Reality Mechanics. If you haven't seen that series, it's free to watch here on my YouTube. We're really proud of those 4 episodes.
It combines like metaphysical lectures with like great cinematic storytelling.
Yeah.
So really proud of those.
Check those out if you haven't yet. And then The Phantom Witch will be free to watch on October 29th. All right. So we would love to chat with you guys. So we have a couple questions here. Do you believe that consciousness consciousnesses between humans can connect remotely? So I would say absolutely yes. We are all aspects of ourselves. We're all aspects of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And through the law of mirrors, we are all reflections of each other, even in a very distant way that's got a lot of separation. But we are still versions of each other, aspects of each other. So can our consciousnesses connect? I would say absolutely. Now, I don't know if you are specifically referring to telepathy or telepathy, things of that nature. I would say 100% yes. I mean, I've been telepathic all my life, where you can almost tap into people's thoughts, not just their emotions, but you're tapping into their thoughts and their stream of consciousness by tapping into their auric field. And as an empath, feeling through their emotions and feeling through their emotional state, you can sort of tap into what their thought processes are. So each of us are fractal consciousness, that is part of greater consciousness, collective conscious source, all of that. So depending on your level of awareness and your level of consciousness, it can be easier or more challenging to tap into other people's consciousness. But through the process of channeling, I've been able to also use that same channeling method to tap into other people's energy. And so, you're sending and receiving information, and you're tapping into their thoughts and their feelings, even over a distance. I don't believe you have to be touching someone or in the same room to tap into their energy. So you can always send them information, you can send them feelings, you can send them downloads. Whether or not they receive them is dependent on their level of consciousness. But going into states of meditation and maybe even altered trance, you can much easier connect to people's consciousness as well.
Mm-hmm. And you can practice it as well if you have like a partner that you already feel connected to.
Yes.
You can always, the two of you can sit down and like pick a color, and then you can try to guess that kind of stuff. And you can practice.
Like telepathy?
Telepathy, yeah.
So Lauren and I have experimented with telepathy too, which is a lot of fun, where we would choose colors or we would choose numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would try to send and receive the colors and the letters and the numbers to each other. And the more we practiced this, exercising like a muscle, the more accurate we became with, picking up on each other. And so you can do that over a distance as well. And that's just telepathy, but I hope that helps. Is that an invasion of privacy? Fractured but invasive? That's also a really good question too. Yehedi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, and I can touch on that as well. So it can be, but look at it like this. Let's say you are a fifth density being and you live in the fifth density frequency, which you would consider an extraterrestrial. Well, telepathy is common there. A lot of races don't even speak. They don't even use a verbal language. They only communicate through empathy and energy and emotion and thoughts, right? So when you get into communicating and tapping into people's consciousness, you have a protective barrier where you can shut yourself off. You can shut your thoughts off. You can close off your emotions so that anybody who's trying to tap into you, they cannot invade your privacy. They can't just read your thoughts and see what you're doing and get into your privacy in that way. What happens is, the way I understand it is, it's almost like a phone call, okay? Let's say, for example, you live in a telepathic society where you're tapping into each other's consciousness like you would a cell phone, sending and receiving a phone call. Well, you would call this person by setting an intention. You picture the person, you imagine their name, and then you would ask to communicate. So you're not immediately going to tap into their consciousness or to their mind and know what they're thinking and see what they're doing. That person would be alerted. They would become aware of the fact that you would like to open a communication, and they can either approve or deny that. And then once you establish a connection similar to Wi-Fi, then those two could communicate. For us down here in the third density, in the 3D, yeah, it's like a VPN or an antivirus. We have them built in. All of us have them built in. And the more conscious you are about telepathy and being telepathic and being able to connect to somebody through the ether, the more you can protect yourself, the more privacy you have, and the easier it is for you to also send your signal to other people as well. So what that means is, let's say you're unconscious. You don't have an awareness of the concept of telepathy or being able to tap into somebody's auric field using your empathic abilities. You can still sort of send them information, and these could be perceived as psychic attacks. Okay, so that's a little bit fear-based, and I do believe that is a thing. I do believe it happens, and the more conscious that you are about the concept of psychic attacks and your telepathic abilities, the easier it is that you can pick up when it's happening, and you can protect yourself, you can stop it, you can also send information back. So yeah, in a sense, I do believe we have like a built-in antivirus, a built-in VPN, which we do have VPN here at the house as well. But I won't say their name because they're not sponsoring us. So, and then we have another question. By the way, I hope that answers your question. high vibe people. Right. So if you can only connect to higher vibrational people, that's just because that's your baseline frequency. So whatever your hertz value is, whatever your vibration is, you're oscillating in that frequency, and it's easier to connect to people that are on your wavelength, because lower vibrational frequency or even higher than you, right? It's a little bit of a mismatch in frequency. You're harmonizing right here. Like together right now, everybody here in chat, we're on a similar frequency right now. But to tap into people who are a lower vibrational frequency or a much higher, you'd have to tune yourself. You have to tune yourself higher and lower.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another question here. Yehedi Freight. We have another question from you. Let me scroll back up and get that. Oh, the Mandela effect and Cern. So I got really big into the Mandela effect and Cern back in 2017, summer of 2017, when I was studying these concepts where, you know, whatever your title is for the overseers, the shadow governments, I believe that they are the ones who are using these forms of technology. And when I say technology, I mean Cern, I mean HARP, the looking glass, things like that. So my thoughts on these are that the Mandela effect is a byproduct. When they use technology to change the past, then present circumstances, whether they're trivial or whether they're really big and important, those things change in our present reality as a byproduct of the past being altered. So that's what I would determine. The Mandela effect is a byproduct of time dilation and timeline manipulation. Cern is obviously a technology that's used to open portals. It's used to less time travel and more time manipulate. But I also understand it as being just a portal machine where whoever is in charge of it can sort of use it to get themselves on and off planet Earth.
Do you think the Mandela has to do with any like personal timeline switching?
That's a good question too. So would the Mandela effect be a byproduct of your own personal timeline shifting? Because we're always changing timelines presently. We're always shifting in and out of our own parallel and alternate timelines constantly, billions of times per second. It's happening. It's an unconscious thing. That's actually how we move linearly forward through time. It's not like moment to moment, but it's more like an alternate moment of the same moment, side by side, where we're shifting sideways. So we can have our own Mandela effects as well, in addition to like a shadow government manipulating a mass consensus timeline using technology like Cern. So you'd have to look at it like two alternate versions. You have a collective timeline that we're all sort of having this congruent version of, and then you have your own unique individual timeline. So I would answer the question yes. The only thing is I don't know how to tell the difference. Right. If it's a manipulation of your own circumstances that create a Mandela effect through your own timeline shifting, or if it's a manipulation through technology. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In relation to Cern, does this affect deja vu or maybe manipulate potential manifestations? I have experienced my own Mandela effect. Awesome. Well, we'd love to hear about what your own Mandela effect is. So deja vu is an awesome concept. I feel like we could do a whole episode about it. Mm-hmm. But my understanding of deja vu, it's the concept that time is nonlinear. Okay? That's your past and your present and your future, right? And they all exist at the same time. So when you experience deja vu, you're usually vibrating, like take stock in what you're doing at the moment that you experience the deja vu sensation, because I still have it now. We still have it maybe even once a month. And so look at what you're doing when deja vu happens, right? Because when it triggers, what it means from my understanding, from my perspective, is that your past, your present, and your future are catching up. And you're vibrating faster than the speed of time. So you're having this sort of inertia. You're having this inertia of being faster than the rate of your own linear time. And so you're having the sensation that, oh, I've already done this before. I've been here before. I've experienced this thing very much already. And I'm catching up with the sensation of the fact that it has happened and also hasn't happened yet. Because you're past, present, and future, you're at like a pinnacle, like a convergence point where you're conscious of all three time periods, not just now, but past, present, and future are converging. So that's one way to look at deja vu. I don't think that Cern has anything to do with that. Although if somebody is using a form of technology like Cern and they're triggering a manipulation of the past, you may have a sensation of it. That could be as well. But an alternate way to look at deja vu is, let's say, for example, you subscribe to the concept of reincarnation. So with reincarnation, you have to look at reincarnation that it's not like a lifetime after lifetime, one after the other, but look at it like they're always sort of happening all at once. And you can actually relive your same life multiple times. It's just not linear. It's more like a spiral. So let's say, for example, my name is Daniel. Let's say I live this life as Daniel like maybe 10 times. And each time I live this life, I'm changing it slightly. And my incarnation is moving like a spiral, where some things are different each time I live it, but also some things will be similar. And when I reach one of these similar milestones, I will have the deja vu effect trigger to sort of give me a signal that I've been here before and I'm walking a similar path to my last incarnation. So that's an alternate way you can look at deja vu. There's a couple different perspectives on that. But if you have had your own Mandela effect, we would love to hear about that if you'd like to share. Regarding deja vu, I ineffectively balance being aware and surprised by the moment and also giving in, allowing it to pass, rarely taking the reins in the moment. Good intuition. See, I like that. That's a power move right there. That's a power move, allowing. You used the key word allowance. Allowing things to come through you, allowing things to come and pass, allowing things to be as they are. Sometimes when I feel deja vu, I just sit with it. And I instead of ignoring it and being like, oh, deja vu again, this is weird, but it's also annoying. No, I sit down, I sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I look around and I'm like, what am I doing in this moment? What time is it? What action am I taking? What are the circumstances? Because generally speaking, I use deja vu as like a signpost.
Mm-hmm.
Something significant is happening. Like when you see a succession of numbers, like if you see 1111 or 333, things like that, I always look around in my environment and in my life and I say, what is happening right now? What do I need to investigate? What is, drawing my attention
Mm-hmm.
to be present in this moment? What's significant? Same with deja vu. When I feel deja vu, it's almost like a little psychotropic. Like it feels very strange. Like it feels like a glitch in the matrix. So I'm always just like, what's happening? What does this mean? I've been here before. So we have some people coming and going in and out of the chat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I always feel like it's a positive thing. And I have vivid memories of having deja vu out throughout my teenage years and my 20s. And another thing about deja vu for me, you guys can tell me if this is the same for you, but when I do feel deja vu, something significant usually happens that day for me. Later on in the day, or probably, within the 24 hours, I usually, like something significant will happen. A change will occur for me.
Mm-hmm.
There must also be a separation between
Yeah, I've had that. That's usually how I experience deja vu is through dreams. They're almost like I'll have a dream of just a day-to-day occurrence, and then a week later it won't happen, and I'll be like, oh yeah. So it's kind of like a premonition of sorts, but for like really mundane day-to-day stuff. But yeah, I've experienced that. I don't know if there's a name for that.
For what, the premonition of
Like dreaming and then experiencing the deja vu a bit later without totally recalling the dream entirely.
So wouldn't that be a type of if it's a premonition, then like a precognition, precognitive, it would almost be like a type of let me think, clairvoyance, right? Or clairsentience, clairvoyance or clairsentience, I believe. One of the clairs.
You know, Claire.
You know, Claire. Right. So one more thing to touch on that is your dream state is a higher density frequency, right? It's been called the template level reality. Template level reality. So it is a faster manifestation realm, right? So sometimes when I have a dream about a specific person, it will play out. Or I'll talk to that person within like the next 5 days. Or something very similar to the dream will play out with the person I was involved with. And it's because it's a creator frequency. The dream realm is a creative, very quickly manifesting realm. So that's why like lucid dreamers, I don't know if you ever heard about this, but people who can deliberately lucid dream will go into the dream state and deliberately manifest certain experiences that they want to play out in their waking life. Yeah, I agree. Cyan, I agree with you. There's been moments where the deja vu lasts too long, where sometimes it's a few seconds, but also the deja vu lasts and I want it to end because I'm feeling really uncomfortable. That's why I said it kind of feels like psychotropic, like I'm hallucinating. And if the deja vu lasts too long, I get sick and I feel really uncomfortable. So I've been there. Yes, all the clairs can be trained. Some people have sort of a natural ability with it, where it just comes to them innately. And then some of the trains can be practiced and exercised, just like a muscle, like exercising a muscle. I believe you could probably train yourself to do any of the clairs with the right intention and the right exercises.
Yeah, and if dream states help you learn faster, lucid dreaming might help in like training yourself to lucid dream.
Yeah.
Because you have like total control over the dream state.
So Lauren and her sister, although they don't talk about this very much, but Lauren and her sister are also, I believe they're clairvoyant, or are you clairaudient? Remember how you and your sister?
Clairsentient.
Clairsentient, right. And that's just something that they've always had, even if they didn't have a label for it or a title. Being clairsentient is something that I know that these girls have always had innately. Like for me, I'm an empath, and I'm clairsentient as well. I feel things. I don't have visions, or I can be clairaudient as well. I hear things from time to time. Also, if you have an innate ability for one of the clairs, the more you're conscious about acknowledging when it happens. So if you're clairaudient, you may hear words, or you may hear sentences. You may hear guidance, like spirit guides. The more you acknowledge it, the more you focus on it, the more you listen, the stronger it becomes, just like exercising a muscle. Same with clairvoyance, for those who are visual. Just take note of it every time it happens, and that's a type of exercise as well.
I like that we're calling it the clairs.
The clairs.
Cover all the bases. The clairs.
Claire Redfield.
Mhm.
Yeah. Claircognizant and clairsentient. Yeah, so we're both clairsentient. Claircognizant. Caroline, give us an example. What is claircognizant to you? Not necessarily, Hetty. Can this be an invitation of demons and darkness? That's only by your own definition, right? So do these creatures and these beings exist? Absolutely. We've talked about them on the show. Do your spiritual abilities automatically mean that you're inviting this type of negativity? No. Like I said, being conscious of it and your knowledge being power of it instantly serves as an immediate type of protection.
Mhm.
So can you invite these things? Absolutely. Can they try to connect with you? Absolutely. But you are always in total control of who and what you communicate to you through spirit. You are driving the wheel. So Caroline, in a sense, you're almost like a conscious channel, right? So with claircognizant, I use this to download information without going into the channeling state. It's almost like being a conscious medium. I don't like claim the title of a medium. I just know how to channel through altering my brainwave frequencies. But if I don't want to go into like a total trance or go into the altered state, then claircognizant would allow me to download information consciously. And for that, I personally use some of the extraterrestrial beings that I work with. Communicating, another, to touch back on your previous question, they always have a conscious link to their counterparts. So if I have a question, like using Google, I can literally tap into them and ask the question and then use my claircognizant to download an answer. And I won't always get it in the way that I would, prefer, but I get something. My concern has. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I actually haven't been channeling as much lately.
Mhm.
I taught myself how to channel specifically for the movie Those Who Seek, but I had never planned on doing it full time or regularly or professionally like so many other people do. It was just an ability that I taught myself, much like the Claire's. But I'm glad you enjoy it. You all right over there?
I always hold a crystal when we do this, and I just dropped it.
Yeah. You usually drop it. You guys can't see it, but we have like a whole table of crystals and stuff. It's our little grid. It's our little podcast grid that we set up. Lauren's usually dropping these.
I just pick one and I hold it the whole time. A lot of types.
Oh, we have all of the amethysts. You name it, we
I
have
love
it.
amethyst.
We've got all the amethyst. One thing a lot of people don't realize about amethyst is that like quartz, if you use any of the quartz, they're amplifiers for your other stones. So whether you have a specific crystal or a specific type of rock stone, your quartz and your amethysts are amplifiers.
Mm-hmm. I'm currently holding hematite.
Yeah, we recently talked about hematite and the power of iron and its protective abilities. And we also have a little heart-shaped crystal here. Chat, this is for you right here. The little heart shape. Shungite. We have shungite.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Perfect. Good grounding stones. Yeah, I use hematite for grounding and then it breaks. It's said that hematite can be very absorbent. And so if you have hematite, keep it on you. It can absorb a lot of your denser vibrations and it will break when it can't hold anymore.
Do you mind actually restarting?
We're just going to reset our other camera. If we're talking crystals. Right, so it's the shape, it's the actual shape of the pyramid that gives it so much amplification energy, and it gives it so much power. That's why you'll see people who will use like, they'll build wireframe copper pyramids and they'll sit in them or they'll meditate in them. It's really the shape. And so we have around our house, we use pyramids to dampen all of our Wi-Fi, the negative effects of Wi-Fi. So we put one by our internet router, we put one by our TVs that have wireless, we put one in the bedroom. We use them for protection, pyramids, but they basically, okay, so look at pyramids the same way as your quartz crystals. It is an amplifying tool, similar to the shape of sacred geometry. You can use sacred geometrical patterns to amplify things or amplify intentions. So when they use them in burial, it was said, say for example, if we're talking like Egypt, whenever people were buried in the pyramids or underneath them, that was to help their consciousness travel to the next place after their death. And it was also used as chambers where they would also, not even talking death, but let's just talk about meditation and channeling. They could astral project much easier by sitting in the pyramids or underneath them, because the pyramid itself works as an amplifying tool to whatever your intention is. Yes, clearing your stones and your crystals, you can use salt water, you can freeze them, you can put them on the windowsill, you can bury them in the earth. I believe that when it comes to cleansing your stones and your crystals, it's whatever you resonate with in terms of what will actually work. So a lot of methods, like I said, windowsill in the moonlight, burying them in the earth, salt water, freezing them. A lot of people have their own methods. The difference between astral projection and lucid dreaming, they are close to each other. They use a similar mechanism, right? So the mechanism is transferring your awareness, your consciousness, out of the body. So lucid dreaming is where you're, obviously you know what it is, you're deliberately staying conscious while in the dream state, which is actually a different density. It's a different realm of frequency. Astral projection, believe it or not, is something that I can do easier than lucid dreaming. I've tried to train myself how to lucid dream. I've read books. I've been trained by a person who can do it deliberately on command, and it's been more challenging for me. But astral projection is it's a similar process to me as channeling, but it really is tuning your consciousness and your awareness away from your physical vessel, which is empirically the same thing as happening both times. Whether you're astral projecting or you're lucid dreaming, it's really a matter of your consciousness leaving the physical. And I would just say that one of them you're asleep and doing it, and the other one you're still semi-lucid and semi-attached to the body. Astral projection, I also believe, some people may argue, but I believe it is the same thing as remote viewing. So if you're familiar with remote viewing, I can do that as well, and I enjoy doing it. Lucid dreaming can be used as the vessel to train the mind to astral project. Yes. 6 spontaneous conscious fully type astral projections. Yeah, Caroline. So what do you see when you have an out-of-body experience? What do you see? Where is your consciousness going? Are you leaving Earth? Are you going to another planet? Are you just in, say, for example, like the fourth density astral? Or where are you going when you have these OBEs? Mm-hmm. And what do you see when you leave? Mm-hmm. Also, Yehedi, one thing I wanted to say is when it comes to astral projection, I also believe that astral projection, much like remote viewing, is very similar to channeling. And you can project a version of yourself, your light body or your astral body, into a safe space where you can also communicate directly to your spirit guides as well. Just wanted to notate that. Right. So the ghost realm, like the ghost frequency, is where I would call similar to a fourth density realm. It's more of a quasi-physical, more of a like an in-between physical density realm, commonly where the consciousness goes when you astral project. I actually find it harder to stay in the third density when I channel and when I remote view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yehedi, that's the duality of it. That's the duality of the 3D. In remote viewing, you are sending a non-physical aspect of your consciousness out of your body, and you can go to other locations, other geographical locations on Earth in the third density. You can visit other planets. You can visit the astral at the fourth density. That's why I feel like remote viewing and astral projection are the same thing. But I mean, some people would argue that in remote viewing, you're only looking into other places, whereas astral projection, your consciousness is going there. So that could be a difference in the difference between astral projection and remote viewing. Have you ever done any of that? Have you ever, like, you did the remote viewing class in Shasta?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've tried it a couple times, and for me it wasn't very successful. But I used to lucid dream all the time.
Do you still lucid dream?
Not so much anymore. I used to do it growing up because I used to have like constant nightmares as a kid. So I without knowing what it was, trained myself into learning how to lucid dream. So the nightmares would like stop.
Mm-hmm.
But after a certain point, I just kind of wasn't doing it as much, and I never really used it to go anywhere or like learn anything. And I think I'd like to get back into it since I know that I'm like susceptible to it. I'd like to get back into it.
So do you think that if you wanted to, you could induce a lucid dream?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should try it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't think that I've ever been able to successfully astral project or
Yeah.
Remote view or anything like that, which is funny because you would think that it would be easier.
Yeah, that's why I'm so confused by it. I cannot.
Like it's one or the other.
I can't lucid dream, but I can send my consciousness out of my body right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I think you should try.
Yeah, I'd love to get back into it.
Do we have any other announcements to make? We've got the movie coming out.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of movies coming out. We have Holbrook,
Mhm.
Lauren's directorial debut. Holbrook is a drama short film.
Mhm.
It's coming out soon. Got The Phantom Witch coming out soon.
Mhm. Hmm.
And that's it. That's it for announcements, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's just been a lot of editing lately, so.
I also have another podcast. If you are enjoying this in like more esoteric content, we also do Celestial Oddities, Pair of Normal Guys. It's my partner Garrett and I. We do that every other Thursday. And that's on Spreaker.com. So you can also check that show out as well. And I think we are winding down. I think what we'll do is, if you guys have any last minute questions, I think we're going to wind down here. Yeah, this has been really nice connecting with you guys. We enjoy this. Even if it's just the four of us hanging out. We're experimenting. This is our first time live streaming, and I think that if we were to do it more, I believe it would probably, gain some more traction. But I definitely like hanging out with you guys. And oh, Robert. Yeah, Cyan. Right. Thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for watching. Big love, brother. Absolutely. It was nice connecting with all of you. Nice chatting with you guys. This is cool hanging out. Like I said, we're just experimenting, trying the live stream thing. If people enjoy it, we could do more of these. Also, if you have any suggestions for an official episode, we're always open to taking suggestions.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Caroline, Yeti, Robert, thanks for hanging out, guys. I think what we'll do is we'll close it out. Mud fossil would be interesting, and as your take. Okay, well, we can definitely write that down, and we can touch on that in our next episode for you. So I'll make a note of that, and we will reference it. I could tell you, right? I mean, it would be honestly. I could go in on that. I can go in on that. I won't do it right now. We'll save it, but I could tell you about that for sure. So we want to thank you guys for hanging out. There are 6 of you watching. To those 5 of you watching, thank you guys for hanging out. That's so meta. It's fun answering your questions and connecting with you. We will be around. Check out The Phantom Witch.
Mhm.
And that's going to be episode number 22, guys. Thank you very much for hanging with us. Lauren, anything you'd like to say before we go?
Thanks for joining us. That's so meta.
Clear cognizant. Thanks, Claire.
Cheers.
Take it easy.